Hi. So I recently did a video about how I think the mental health system is broken, and that's partly because we have a lot of people within the industry who don't have a personal experience or a personal understanding or connection to the various different things that contribute to mental health, or poor mental health. I wanted to do a further video because I think there's a couple of other things that I didn't discuss in the last video that also contribute to poor mental health. And that's firstly, as I've mentioned, I think the system is broken. I think we can all see that by how overrun the mental health system is. Some people can't, there's such a long waiting list to get into a psychologist. I'm hearing of all sorts of people having this problem, but also in conjunction to that, I think then that leaves people feeling helpless, and people tend to think that the only way to fix their mental health is through conventional medicine, through seeing a psychologist, through going on antidepressants, popping a pill. Western medicine has sort of done a really good job on making people think and believe that that is the only answer. But, from my own experience, I've spent the last 25 years doing a really deep dive into trying to fix my mental health, childhood trauma, grief, drug addiction, all sorts of things I've been through myself. And I didn't fix it through going through conventional ways. I actually sought alternative ways, and I tried a myriad of different things, and it took me 25 years to really get to the bottom of what my trauma was. And that was through a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, and being prepared to do the work, being prepared to do the research, because it's not readily available. Even though we live in a society that's filled with knowledge, and we've got information at the tip of our fingers, a lot of people don't know where to start. They don't sort of have that drive to do a deep dive. Whereas I have this insatiable thirst for learning and for knowledge. And so I was happy to do that for 25 years. I was happy to do the research, and I'd find a podcast and that would lead me to someone else, or I'd find a book and then that would lead me to another area. And my journey just went on and on and on like that over the years. So I think that's another contributing factor, is that people, one, don't believe that there is an alternative route. They think that, oh, I just have to go to my GP. I have to do what the GP says. Whether I pop a pill or see a psychologist, that's it. That's my only options. And that's just not true. So then when you combine that, along with people sort of going, oh, well, I don't know, there's other things out there. But also, I think another major contributing factor to those two issues is that people are inherently lazy. And I know that's going to ruffle a few feathers, me saying that, but you only have to look around to society. People want a quick fix. They just want to take a pill, and they want to take the easy way out. And you know what? To get your mental health back on track, it requires hard work. Like I said, I have been slogging away at my mental health, at my overall happiness for 25 years. And it's only really been in the last 2 years that I've had a significant shift. And people don't want to do that. That's a long, hard slog. But I'm here to tell you, if you really want to find true happiness, you have to put in the work. You can't just take a pill. I mean, we all know that people that are just pop a pill for their depression, they're still depressed. They're still not living happy, fulfilled lives. They're just cruising along on autopilot. They don't feel happy or sad because that's what the medication tends to do. It makes you just feel even kilter. And that's not normal as far as I'm concerned. So, as much as that's going to upset people, me saying that, let's be honest. Be honest with yourself. Are you prepared to do the work? Because when I talk to people, and I'm always talking to people, I have a couple of businesses that get me out and about in the community. People, they want to take the easy way. They don't want to put in the hard work. It's too hard. And so they either do nothing, or they just continue going along with, what they've been doing forever, but it doesn't really shift the bar. I mean, I think it was Albert Einstein that said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, but expecting different results. And unfortunately, when it comes to the alternate route, it's copped such a bad rap from Western medicine, and maybe that's by design because we all know the pharmaceutical companies, they make their money from the medical industry, and of course they're not going to make any money from natural alternative therapies. So perhaps there's a little bit of skullduggery behind demonizing natural therapies. But everyone I know that has got a handle on their mental health, they have sought alternative methods, and it hasn't just been one method. Okay, it's a holistic approach. It's incorporating lots of different things. And I'm not against Western medicine. I myself, I've seen, a fantastic counselor over the last couple of years. She's helped me tremendously, but I've also done it in conjunction with a lot of other things. I have done a lot of energy healing. I have used magic mushrooms, microdosing, also bigger doses to get to the crux of what my issues are. And I'm not saying go out and take some psilocybin mushrooms and wow, have a good party time. I'm talking about using them in a therapeutic setting. And there's a lot of science behind that. In America, they are using it in a therapeutic setting under the guidance of trained professionals. And that is a wonderful tool to get to the bottom of what your issues are and to help you deal with PTSD and all sorts of other mental health issues. It's also been, for me, it's been about doing things like yoga, things that are mindful, that are bringing me back to that mindfulness, that inner core. I use crystals a lot to balance my energy. I make sure that I eat right, because when we are eating dense, heavy foods, that affects our overall health. It affects our brain power. It affects our mood. Not getting enough sunlight also affects our mood, where, if you're always wearing sunglasses or staying away from the sun, you're not getting the sun in through your eyes, which produces your happy endorphins. It gives you a boost. So, towards your serotonin. So it's a combination of all those things. And when you start to really look into it, if you're really serious about overcoming your mental health, and I realize there's some mental health issues that you'll never overcome, but you want to get to a place where you're able to manage them. And 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 when I say manage it, that means, it doesn't mean you're not going to have a bad day. I still have bad days sometimes with my mental health and my PTSD, but I've gotten to such a great place within myself where I am able to manage it. And the times that I have my down days, they're fewer and further in between. I'm able to overcome it much easier than I would have. In the past, I would have been, down, feeling morbid and depressed for months and months on end. Now it's just for a day or two here and there, but I work at it. I work hard, and I go, okay, you've had I call it my eat worms day. I allow myself to have that eat worms day, but then I pick myself up the next day and I go, okay, now what are my tools? I need to call on my toolbox. And there's various different things in my toolbox. And everybody that has mental health problems should have a toolbox filled with different tools that you can pull out in those dark times. And that just doesn't come from Western medicine on its own. It does need to be a holistic approach, as I've mentioned. But you need to ask the question, how serious am I about getting on top of my mental health? Because if you're not prepared to put in the hard work, then I'm afraid you're going to continue allowing your mental health to override you. And it's a really dangerous place to be. So again, I don't want to harp on too much, but just take those things into consideration. If you are serious, you have to do the work. There is no quick fix. You can't just pop a pill for the rest of your life, because at the end of the day, your issues are still bubbling under the surface. And that is not how you live a happy and fulfilling life. You must face what your issues are. You must hop in the driver's seat. Stop handing your power over to the doctors and the medical health industry, because they're not doing anything for you. If they were, you'd have a handle on your mental health. So you have to take the reins of your life, your happiness, and your mental health. And when you commit to that, I promise you, you're going to be working towards having a much better, healthier, and happier life. So I'm Stacey Sellers from the Real Life Ready Academy. Thank you for watching. I hope you've gained something out of this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.